This conference will now be recorded.
All right, it is 5:32. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Roll call. Roxanne Sorrell is present. Hollis Boatwright is not present. She may be joining us late online. Billy Jean, one here, is here. Gail McClellan is here. Pam Prescott Caps is not present. You know what, guys, we don't have our microphones on.
So I see your.
Everybody turn on the microphone. All right. Wendy Cambridge here is here. And Rita Nino, our HPO, is here. So to back up, we called the meeting to order at 5:32. We have Roxanne Sorrell, Billie Jean Kutzer, Gail McClellan, and Wendy Cambridge present, and Hollis Boatwright and Pamela Prescott Caps not present. And we do have 3 voting members, so we have a quorum. So welcome to everyone. Welcome to our commission meeting. We don't have anybody signed up to speak, so we'll go ahead and move on to item number 5 in our opening business, which is approving the agenda. Do we need to rearrange anything today? Nope. All right, so we're going to go in order. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action on the following. Item number 1 is consideration of the June 28th minutes. I need to get my hands on the recording from last time. I have pretty good notes, but I'm going back and forth between my agenda and the notes that I took. So I need to get a hold of that.
Okay.
recording.
All right.
All the links had expired when I was trying to do it.
Okay, I will work on that right now.
Okay. Ready. All right. Item number 2, the chair, vice chair, and secretary of the commission shall be elected by and from the members of the commission for the 2-year term. So, who wants to be the secretary? Why are you looking at me? I'm looking at everyone. Oh, come on.
Okay, I ordered it.
Now I've done it before, so with the board, so. Then I'll do it. Because I tried to take minutes from last time and we see how that's turning out. Yeah. Okay.
I did it for Twins Board, so I can do it.
All right, so I think that we actually need to vote on it, don't we? So do we,
I make a motion that Billy Joe become our secretary. Jean, sorry.
all right, Joe, really Joe is my dad.
I know that. I was thinking about it.
All right, we have a second. A second. All right, and we second. All in favor? All right, so all present. Vote in favor. Okay. Chair and vice chair. I assume that Hollis would like to continue in her role as vice chair. So if anyone would like to come on, all right. Here, so we'll note that Pam Prescott Cox is here. 5:06. All right, so all in favor of Hollis Boatwright continuation as vice chair? Okay, so it's unanimous. And then the chair. Does anybody want to be the chair?
I nominate Roxanne.
Okay, all right. Good. All right, got this down. So did we vote? All in favor? Yay. Okay, all good, Jim? Okay, all right, so. On to this, okay, so this is for a 2-year term. Future online course, $100. This is education for Wendy. In the past, we'll all sign up for conferences. Sometimes the city secretary will sign us up and just pay for it directly. But if you want to do something on your own, we just reimburse you. So, okay, right? Is that how it works, Rudy?
Correct. For the record, y'all have 3,500 as of today in the budget. So y'all will consider that. The program that you were asking me, Ronnie already does that. The GIS, whatever it's called.
Yes.
The city's already doing
Okay.
it. So the city and the commission is too small to meet that. But there's other courses that would be beneficial. Okay.
All right.
So I may not be taking the course today.
Okay.
Excuse me?
So she said she might not be taking the course that she had anticipated taking. So then what do we do with this item?
You can vote on it and she can just hold on to it, maybe never use it.
So everybody has to do some education every single year. And it's in our budget and things have been a lot cheaper since than they were pre-pandemic because nobody's traveling. See how it goes over the next year. But most things are only $100. You know, everything's online. We did have in our budget, I think, to travel. So we'll need that again once things are normal. So do we need to vote to just pre-approve something or how do we handle it?
I don't think we should do that. I think, you know, so it's, it should not be voted on at this time. So, okay.
Sorry, can we table this?
Yes.
All right, do I have a motion to table? All right, motions to table. And do I have a second? All right, all in favor of tabling this particular item? Aye. All right. Yes. Removal, item number 4, removal of the 4 post banners or getting an extension of 3 more months. This is for our historic Blanco banners, the maroon and gold ones, Texas state colors.
Jump a second.
Okay. So what, do we want to remove them or do we want to get an extension?
Is this like the banner on the bowling alley?
No.
Banner.
At the barbecue place,
It's the black ones that are off the poles.
one right here.
What did they say exactly?
Kimberly Hills, then it has the square building, that outline.
It has the courtyard and it has the, yeah, it says age in and the hills, welcome to Blanco or something like that.
I'd like to extend it. I think they look really nice. This is not our thing.
What do you all think?
I make a motion to extend.
All right.
3 months, was that the extension?
Yes, 3 months. So Wendy motions to extend. Do I have a second? A second. All right, Pam, seconds. All in favor? Aye. All right, one is in favor. Motion passes. Okay, plan for 8 new 80 by 30-inch replacement fabric banners with the proper colors and theme. So you want to replace these with what colors?
That's for y'all guys to select. Then we would put one, the utility pole at Red's house, the tree would have to get trimmed, 'cause you can't see anything. But that's where the gateway would be, the other one at your office. What's the name of it? Remax? Then the other one would be by West End. Then the other one would be right behind the Uptown office. So that's 4 plus these 4 equals 8. And they're, depending how many you purchase, but they can be about 125 to 199 each. As far as the proper colors, y'all will have 3 months to figure that out. That's up for you guys. Okay? And what PEC does, when I give them the brackets and the pole, then they mount it on out there, where before it was a clamp. But with clamps, it can rust, break, fall off and kill somebody. You see that, but that's like, this way, when they're bolted in there, it's not coming off. Okay, so that way you have your gateway in, then you have your representation of the square. That's it. As far as the colors, I think some of the folks that I have just randomly, as long as it has that courthouse look, that Blanco, and maybe just what, welcome to Blanco, but then the colors would be, I guess, gold, blue, white, but that's up to you guys, well, not me.
Question? Are these going to then remain permanently?
No, they come up every 3 months. What I have to do with the extension, and let you're asking, I'm gonna ask again if I have to go before PEC to get a variance. If they say no, because someone else is gonna do something, it'll go through the Chamber of Commerce, because we have to alternate. But I've asked Chamber of Commerce, they have no variance. But it can get there one day. Maybe the Lions Club wants to lock it in. So every 3 months, you get your variance, and then you get permanent.
So instead of the 4 that we have up now, there would be 8 total, 4
4
3
plus
months.
4.
And they would possibly be different colors?
It has to be, because that's a different city's color.
Oh, that
That
was,
city happens to be that way. The high school color.
sorry. Turn that.
Am I being recorded?
Well, I have a question. Would the school colors
Hold on.
be appropriate, or would that be too?
That would be appropriate.
That's what I'm kind of thinking would be the school colors would go.
Yeah.
Hers is not on. Okay. There you go. Why don't I do this? I will try to get some samples, send it to you guys at the next meeting. If we need a committee, then we can develop one, because there's, 4 of you, 5 of you, 6 of you, actually, right? That can voice an opinion, and all of you are just follow up. I'm just a follow up.
Okay. And do we already have, we don't have to have any barcode, just, I mean, it's a 2-tone image,
Yeah.
right? So it should be able,
I'm gonna talk to, Liz over at the chamber and ask her if she has any ideas.
okay,
I like the image. Like the current one.
right,
They say remain the same way.
just change the colors. All right, so what is our action on this?
If y'all want to vote on it.
Do we want to vote just to plan for it for now? And we anticipate that this could be $125 to $200 per,
Right.
for aid, so it could be, $1,600 total.
And we have 3,500?
And if the year runs out, you have next year's budget. And those banners will last for long. Couple of years ago. So you want something permanent.
Is there a reason why we increased the number from 4 to 8?
To get the gateways, all I have to do is get an approval from PEC. Because some of the utility poles are getting replaced because they're big, like the one right here, Gonzalez, right in front of Red. Right in front of her, it's got a brand new post. because the other one, then there's one behind you guys that's big, right? So they're talking about replacing some utility poles. At that time, they couldn't use some of the poles because they're getting replaced.
You know, when you say gateways, it sounds like the ones further out, you're talking about the banner gateways. There's two gateways,
Right.
and the one.
But that's what you call
These
it.
are the banners all right, so do we have a motion to plan for the new banners?
You know, I have to ask something. I'm confused. I thought that, we had some, and I'm gonna sound dumb here, but I thought we had some, exclusion for banners and flags. I don't really know what banners we're talking about.
Like these up here, those purple ones, or the maroon, like. That's already got this. There's one right up here by the
Okay.
car.
I mean, it's hanging.
No, it's on the utility pole. You can walk up there, look at the 300,
Yeah. 300.
big as the door.
Well, I thought we didn't do banners. I thought that, like a friend of mine who has a business in town got in trouble for putting a banner.
No.
You get permission, you get permission.
You have to get a COA. We are actually gonna be doing the COA review for a banner.
Oh, I'll go.
It says that we had a long time ago, and then they put them back up.
Okay.
Roxanne,
Yeah.
to back you up,
Mhm.
what the ordinance says, when it comes to the football games or political, you don't need permits. Okay, you know, when they put all those football players'
Oh,
numbers,
yeah.
you don't need a permit
Right.
for political stuff. Look for John, you know, that.
So I would like to, now that this has been brought up, kind of discuss it and
Yes.
and decide if we need 8 or 6 or whatever we need, just depends on our budget.
It is kind of a steep ask,
Yeah,
you know.
I'm thinking 6 might be appropriate, but maybe we need to just review.
Well, I'm gonna go and look at it.
Yeah, just step out.
Don't forget to come back either.
Okay.
Take a picture of it. So, for what it's worth, I do notice them.
Everybody gets, right, John?
And it kind of, I think, is a visual cue for people that you're coming into this little town, maybe slow down.
Yeah.
But it does more.
Stop and, yeah.
It's not coming out the gateway, like. what
No.
we're gonna do
No,
for
right.
our Budget.
You used to call it gateway, so I'm using your same words.
Well,
We're not talking about the ones out there about.
That's gateway. These are banners.
They're banners, but you had told me that your house is a gateway. Okay, why don't you change your mind?
It's the entry to the historic.
Yeah, you changed your mind, and that's fine. No, we're in the same line.
Okay, I have a question. Talking about taking it out of the budget, when does the old budget end and the new budget begin?
September 29th.
The budget begins October 1st and it ends September 30th.
I'd like to request from Rudy, a map where you're looking to put these signs
Okay.
for all of us to review.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. I'll wait.
Mhm.
Waiting on him to look at those.
She's coming back. She'll get a sandwich. Oh, well, yeah, because you got lost.
Oh, well, I'm looking at all the solar flags and I was like, in the world, I'm not seeing these, but I know. You got it?
Would have been the same.
I know. I'm not crazy.
All right, so, do you want to table this for now, or do you want to start planning? What else, what do you want to do?
Personally, I would like to get the map showing where they're gonna be, confirm what we're going to put on there. I think it's a
That's a
review
committee then.
process.
It's just, it's establishing the boundaries of the
Yes.
historic district. So they look pretty nice.
Table for review, I guess.
All right, do we have a motion table? All right, Wendy, motion to table. Is there a second?
A second.
All right, Pam, seconds. So we're going to table this item until further review, a little bit more research, and all in favor?
Aye.
All right, passes unanimously. Item number 6, media, Facebook, website. We have our Facebook page. I post things on it every once in a while. I need to make Wendy, have I made you an administrator yet? Well, I'm going to. I will.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And,
The sheet's right there.
Oh, these are mine.
Oh, are they?
oh, here, this is one.
No, I got that. I didn't get the. And I printed my stuff, but I didn't have it. Oh, well. that's good.
So gateway signs, we do still have the plywood and we pay for art. I suppose we might be back there again, because the people that were working on the more substantial signs are not with us. Well, Jim is no longer with us and I don't think we have Will anymore, so. And so if somebody else wants to take over that, how hard is Jim
You
to
don't
get?
have full dates?
Can I say something? They may want to check with Richard because he still has the plywood.
Yeah,
And
Richard
and he has a connection with the man that had been paid so much.
Right.
I've already done it, and I gave it to my son.
Go on.
I can look into it, since when Will was here, he was saying that it should be more of a capital expenditure. So we're asking for a big chunk of money. Since we have the plywood, weather resistance, and the art was paid for, I thought, why don't we just get some giant 4x4, 6x6 treated, put them 2 poles embedded in the ground, put the new sign in the graphics, then later you guys can come back and maybe put the stone around it and a planter or something. But I've seen a few of them, I think there's one in Johnson City, somewhere in the area. But it's attractive, Dripping Springs. Historic district, whatever you are, has decided on. It's better than nothing. It's just sitting on Richard's place, he wants it out.
All right,
So I can follow it up for you guys.
all right. So, will you?
Mhm.
Okay. So, Rita will follow up with Richard and,
The whole thing,
yeah,
Picture, if we look at the one that you talked about.
the ones that he had on there.
Yeah, we got that sort of this, with the previously viewed
the,
drawings, right?
the ones that were colorful.
Yeah. It's already paid for.
Okay.
We can always change it.
Well, it's taking it back to being a $1,600 expenditure instead of, a more substantial.
So I'd like to recommend that because we have new folks on the commission, they have not seen these drawings, so that they be provided to them.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe a picture of the Dripping Springs sign that you're talking about, or
Okay.
wherever it was.
I
So we
just
know
meant,
what it
I
looks
just
like.
meant what it looked like.
Oh.
You can probably pull that up on your website.
Yeah, take a picture.
Right, that's. Yes.
Roxanne, we were talking about that. Have y'all seen the one that the new owner of the building did on Blanco?
Yes,
That's neat, isn't it? I think it says welcome to Blanco.
that's something about Blanco.
Yeah.
And I drive by it regularly.
Blanco and 163, Dutch Apple,
Yes,
catty corner this way, next door is a saloon
yes.
on the site building. Drive over there, take a look. Take a picture.
That-
Where the warehouse is, it's sitting kind of catty corner.
It used to be a-
It's the old big bad building.
Oh, yeah, that's.
Yeah, yeah, so it's the, down in the, way down yard.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It used to be a turkey smokehouse. Mr. Coffey used to work there as a teenager.
Yes, not nice.
Go take a look.
Doing interesting things over there.
So question, when we get this information, can we, during the month, talk back and forth via emails or whatever to try to come up with something by next meeting, so this doesn't drag on into the next decade. Because I know it's been on the agenda a long time.
I would recommend that we take whatever designs that we had and we can use some type of online polling tool, whether it's just us or if we want to take public input, but, you know, you get 3 options, let's pick one. And let's not, we're already gonna have to pay to have more artwork done if we have more artwork done. Because the person, the graphic artist has already done it more than once. We decided to change colors to blanco colors. So that would be,
Sure.
I think that's the best solution. Let's just, option 1, 2, 3, let's not keep discussing it.
But it's
Because
been
we
voted.
can't,
I agree with that.
It's been voted already. It's been voted.
Yeah. You all started work on it before I joined the commission.
Yeah.
All right, so what kind of action do we want to take on the gateway? Anything decisions? Just, we're waiting. We're gonna try to get it done by the next meeting.
I'll put something together.
So I guess we table that for now.
Would you like to motion to table?
I make a motion to table.
All right, and motions to table the gateway issue, and do we have a second?
I'll second.
Gail seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Last item on number 6 was the website. There's a website in progress. Hollis is working with Jim on it. They do have some stuff in there to allow community input. I don't know, I don't think it's live yet, I've seen it, but there's lots of family, all kinds of good stuff from someone's private collection, and there's a way to add to it. But I don't know that it's official yet, so I'm not gonna.
Okay, I have a question. Hollis and Jim who?
Fuzzy.
And who's going to administer that website, who's going to oversee it?
Well,
Okay.
we don't know yet.
Okay. I mean, we can't go live until we have an administrator.
How close are we to going live? If you have the website, you can get to it. It is live. It is just not, we're not publicizing it yet.
Okay.
So. Yeah. Would we like to move on to number 7? Which is an update on paint color guidelines by Wendy, who's been doing a lot of research. Tell us about.
All right, so what we have realized is that our COA is required if exterior paint is going to be addressed in any way, shape, or form. So COA is required, that's a done deal, that's been out there a while. What I've been doing is researching ways, for instance, to put on our website for folks that are looking to get direction or design ideas about roofing or painting the exterior. And I think I sent it out to everybody, I don't know, well, you two didn't get it, because I didn't have your email addresses. And so I need those, but I will send those back out again. What I did was I took it from Grapevine, Texas, the city of Grapevine, Texas. They have a great, it's already done, you know, we don't need to recreate it, Roxanne saw it. And I've incorporated what Roxanne provided to me regarding the styles of design, Victorian, craftsman style, all those different types, because there are specific color palettes for them. And that's incorporated into this as well. I was hoping we might be able to look at that tonight, but unfortunately, it didn't get out to you soon enough to review. So I'd like to have everyone look at that this month, coming up, and then by next meeting, vote on whether we want to Is that and incorporate that into our website. I can send it around for you guys to look at. Get my copies. I have one, I'll send it down again. But I think that'll work, and let me know, give me your input over the next month. Okay. Let me know what you think, if it's good, then we'll vote on it next month.
And basically it has some of the historic color palettes from the various paint companies from their, heritage collections. And that's what you choose from. We did go back and research the ordinances from the past and in its, originally, you were supposed to apply for a COA even if you were doing maintenance. This is 20 years ago. So it's a little bit looser now, but definitely if you're doing the same paint colors, then that's maintenance. If you're changing a paint color, you need a COA. So what Wendy has found has specific named paint manufacturers in their color catalog, and also has the information from the San Antonio seminar on paint colors, because, a craftsman house would have different colors than a folk Victorian, et cetera, and that's all mentioned in there, so, yes.
On one of the UDCs, I don't recall if it's number 5, 6, 7, or 8. No, it wouldn't be 8, that's science. It does specifically say that the colors have to be muted.
Okay.
So if it's the Victorian Sherwin-Williams or Pittsburgh dark deep, that's not muted. So somewhere you bring the ordinance back in and Connor defeat a deep color, whatever she's reading. So that could become a conflict down the road. We want to avoid that.
Okay, did not see that.
Yeah,
Don't need to-
There's one, and also the design guidelines tells you Blanco is more white colors, black colors. So there's 2 places that Blanco already has ordinances. And they just have to kind of match.
Okay. Good. That's what we'll be doing the next month then.
So they can be done doing this forever. Since I was 40 years old, I can't even know my age. But we dealt with paint consultants, like in Alamo Heights, where people have this money, and they'll pay $5,000 just to get the perfect colors. And some other paint consultants will come out of New York, and when they read the old ordinances, they'll make like one purple, one red, one white, one this color. And when you paint the wall, depending on the sunlight's a different color. But evening is a different color. So it can be a big thing about color.
Well, and I would assume, when they do the testing to find the original colors, we might need to add something that if you prove that this building was this color when it was built, or within the first 15 years, then you can paint it that color, right?
That's how you know, the paint analysis.
We'll incorporate that as well.
All right, are we taking any action on the paint colors right now? Are we tabling it or
Still under review?
still under review?
And Roxanne, as long as they get a COA to paint, you do not need a permit.
Okay,
That's across the board.
right, it's not building, it's just painting. All right, so this is still under review. Update of the budget. Rudy sent out a proposed budget for us after the last meeting. I sent that to the city because they are already starting budget workshops. I did try to include, I didn't add anything to it, but I've included a note that we need to consider matching funds for grant money, because we do want to redo our survey for the whole town, because we want to have an inventory of everything that was built before 1971 as part of our National Park Service obligations. So I I'm hoping we can get some extra money for grant funding, for matching funds. But we haven't come up yet in the budget workshops. But basically what Rudy sent over was very close to what it was last year.
It hasn't changed in many years.
All right,
If you asked for 4, then you push back to 2005.
all right. So I don't think there's any action on this, but if anybody wants to work on the budget, that's always welcome. Anybody? All right. Can we go ahead and move on to our HPO report and COA? Item number 1 is Blanco Ballet's banner. Rudy, do you want to review that?
Yeah, everybody got the COA except for him, correct? The COA? And then I gave you all my HPO report on that. It's very simple. So you can see who the applicant is and what size banner they need and where the location is. And the duration of the time falls right within the 30-day time period. My report. A banner should be tied down by temporary means to the ratings to provide stability for the expected duration of the installation. Banners are allowed at the square with a permit. Blanco Historic Preservation Commissioners or the City of Blanco should move to approve the banners based on section 26.06.053, banners on non-residential property, fact finding number 1. You can read that entirely there, and then the references. That's my report for that.
All right, and your recommendation was that it be approved, correct? Given finding that.
Yeah.
All right. So do we have any discussion about, do we know what's going on? Does everybody know where they do ballet over in the old Sonic building upstairs? I think she wants to hang the banner out on the balcony when school's starting. And I think it's black, white, and pink, isn't it? It's ballet. Right. It's always, it's everything that they do is hot pink, black and white. So, questions, comments?
So basically, this banner is kind of like an ad that they're starting school, like a ballet school or something, or?
It's there, the ballet's there anyway.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna hang the banner out on the balcony.
Okay.
There. And it's, you only allow it for a certain period of time.
I'm just gonna ask that. How long do you?
30.
30 days.
And she might reply to do it again at some other point.
And she can do it, yeah.
Yeah, but for now, we would be voting to approve it. All right. Does anyone want to make a motion to approve the Banco?
I'll make a motion to approve it for 30 days.
All right, do we have a second?
A second.
No seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes.
And the COA needs to get approved too.
All right. So do we have a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness for the Blanco Valley Banner? All right. Any motions? Do I hear a second?
Second it.
All right. All in favor? All right, motion passes. On to number 2, under our HPO section, we have Red Bud Cafe and Navy Beer Garden.
Okay, I gave her my only full extended copy and everybody received it by email, correct? Then, as Brandon on the right, everybody knows John. And he sent me photos of the 2 dilapidated buildings. The 2 metal buildings will remain. that were built on top of the blueprints of there. I think this one here, we hit it pretty good as far as information flows and what have you, correct? Okay. The plans are not perfect, they never should be, and we can talk about that. So pay attention. If you have any questions, that's fine. And I'll do the best I can to read without glasses. My name's put them on. Redbud Cafe, Reader's Pottery, rectangular buildings will remain as it is. So that's the main concern. The main buildings where you can buy your lavender or eat, don't touch that.
I'm forced.
But, yeah, don't touch that. Not inside, not, they're not redoing the building. The lumber barn building, which is the two that survived, will be preserved and reconstructed to blend with the existing. Okay? The new double doors at the Fifth Street will be service doors, not for the public. When you look at the map, y'all all have that. That always kicks a concern. Oh, they're adding more doors to the back. That might become dangerous. I asked them, and it's just a service door, not for the public. The main entrance will still be at the Redbud's Cafe at 4th Street's main doors, correct? In addition, there will be a new secondary entrance on Pecan Street for the public ADA compliance. This is Pecan, where you have the lumber gate. They don't redo it there. Somebody wants to come into there or out, ADA compliance will do that. And there's already sidewalk. The city of Blanco, primarily in there, the citizens have been concerned about new developments and the loss of identity for many years in the program Visionaries and Preservation. The main goal of it is to keep Blanco like Blanco and not like any other Texas town. Occupations in Blanco were centered on agriculture and ranching, and it still is. The design guidelines of the city of Blanco, Texas. They are creating a rustic beer garden highlighting the history of Blanco. Is that correct? They're stating on the zero lot line. That's my heading, and you have this. The property sits on the center of a zero lot line. There should not be any altering of the property lines of existing parcels of land. The Blanco County Appraisal District's online shows 3 property owners. Is that correct? The bank, you guys, and the post office owner. The other 2 properties are the U.S. Post Office and the Texas Regional Bank. The new gates or walkways should be installed to the adjacent property without a variance of the Blanco's planning and zoning. Okay, so they're requesting the plans, not them. They're requesting a new gate right on top of the post office property. That's what I was hoping for. But that's not gonna happen. Gotta see y'all later. Okay. The existing fence, historic rock walls, curved sidewalks, which is a hardscape, and landscaping should not get altered or damaged. The mature pecan trees should get protected during construction. Okay, those are neat trees, you want to ruin that. So any of the fences that are there now, adjacent to the post office, unless they have permission, they should not alter that. No gates, nothing. Okay, if you're in a zero lot line, and let's say this building I cannot build a door to here and go next door. They're not gonna do it either, okay? Modifying surveying property owners. Notifying. The responsible parties will need to notify all property owners of their intention within 100 feet of the property, not counting the width of public streets and alleys, by using a stamped envelope and keep a record for future building permits visible to the inspector. So that's on the COA. The bank, they'll notify the bank, doesn't have to be official, just a card, hey guys, we're gonna be doing this. It might get dusty for a few days. There might be a couple of dumpsters coming by. You want one of our employees and customers, okay, that comes, same thing anybody out here. So it becomes public knowledge, so they don't come back and say, well, no one told us that we're gonna be doing this, you know. So you send those letters out to 100 people around you, that should solve problems before they get there. That's why. Professional engineering, PE. It is highly recommended for the owners to get technical advice from a professional engineer about the following missing loose rocks on the exterior wall at the breeder pottery at the time of of this writing of this report. Y'all did see those two photos, correct? Okay. They're aware of it. The structure's not gonna fall, but it could. Okay. Hopefully we don't get earth movements and stuff like that, but they will address that. Cleaning and repointing. Some improvements should be the cleaning and the preservation of the rock stucco by choosing the appropriate cleanup and repointing of the loosened rocks wall at the east wall. And that's the pottery wall. This exterior wall is a load-bearing wall. Regardless, if the interior has been updated with load-bearing beams or extra walls. Okay, because we don't inspect the inside, only the outside. Okay, so what we see visibly is a concern. Okay. For anybody, there will be some improvements on the exterior walls of Red Bud Cafe, the British Pottery. The exterior walls on the north side, east side, and the west side, what's visible, will be at the edge of the property line. Action. Now here you guys come. The plans dated November 1st, 2020, which is all correct? Okay, that's kind of old plans. Shows a pea gravel walkway and a new gate entrance on the U.S. Post Office property along the side of the Brigger Potteries rock wall. That's what I'm talking about, Pam, when you get into that hard look. The plan shows that, but that's going to be denied. Okay. There goes wishful thinking, but the architect, right?
So the only reason that that's even in these plans is because we have been thinking about potentially at some point in the future, trying to purchase 10 feet and put another entrance. That's so far down the line, it was just one of those things, let's put everything on paper so we can start addressing it as we move forward.
Yeah.
But obviously nothing on that end is even in our close view vision.
Okay. So once the minutes get developed, they couldn't do it. They could put an X on it and sign it and give us a copy. But at that point, future time, you would get a variance first from the post office, you agree with your neighbors, goes to the county, it's a process. I'm not involved. Okay, here we go. The BHPC, you guys, should deny this, deny that walkway. But it can be approved with modifications to revise the plan, and the owners can X out the area of the master plan dated and signed off. Okay? So when y'all read the minutes, y'all want to read it. The Blanco Historic Preservation Commission should approve today at this meeting here that the Briggers can remove the two dilapidated CMC buildings on the back of the property, preservation of the lumberyard centered roof with matching corrugated panels, construct a new corrugated metal two-story silo, the two-story bathroom with matching exterior plaster stucco on the exterior and the office with an enclosed walkway. Both two-story structures should not be higher than the existing two-story buildings on Main Street at Uptown 3 building. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Two-story, if you look that way, the motion theater place is the highest two-story. Their courthouse does not count. According to the design guidelines, they have this photo, and nothing can be higher. Okay. The day of the build between the post office and his building, that new building does not come out. It stays even with the wall. That's kind of simple stuff. So that's what I'm saying here. Let me find my spot again. They want to install a new 8-foot tall fence screen, and I call it a screening, using corrugated metal panels with cedar lumber, landscape and hardscape with decomposed granite for the walkways for the plants. And that's in the interior. We're not going to see that. Make that much needed rock preservation and repointing repairs to the side of the Brigger building and preservation of the rear of both the Red Bud and the Brigger's pottery. Okay, so everything in the back will get it straight down, washed down, repainted, gutters falling down, rebuild them, trim it, run, refurbish them. That's all they do. Kind of like a maintenance thing. Okay. In addition, metal deterioration gutters, install new gutters that drain to the streets without creating any issues. Is there any question?
Does it affect parking?
I was wondering.
Yeah, I was wondering about that
The
too.
plan has parking, a little bit more needed than it have right now in the rear. but they're not gonna build anything extra in there, correct? No parking lots.
So is that addressed then by P and Z or
The city,
the city?
it's up to the city when they see growth, maintain growth. If they need more parking spots, city takes over. Not them, unless they're developing new land, like downtown did, in the back, knock down some houses and put parking.
So basically, we're looking at the historical elements of the building and making sure we stay within those elements as the new construction begins. And you're gonna use the existing lumber building that's there, has all the old lumber that stays.
Sorry, my hair is not perfect.
So, yes, to answer your question, the two metal buildings that are currently there will be refurbished to be stronger, more up to date, and to be used. And then we're looking at putting an additional top back line like there used to be. So the idea is kind of recreating the resemblance of what was there to kind of play homage to what this town had, but then using it for a little bit more of a modern.
Will it be open onto Pecan Street too, the way it was before? It was open.
That plan isn't completely finished yet, so because we just had added in the roof structure as part of it, which it doesn't show.
Yeah, so you're not gonna see that here, but as moving forward, that's kind of the
Yeah,
next.
it's just all open.
Oh, Brandon, what's the number of parking spots? Are those for employees or customers?
Right now they're for employees.
No, I mean in the future.
I mean, yeah, it's still just for employees. I think we've got somewhere around 20 or so in there. So it's primarily just for employees, but every.
And when you read the report, there will be a concern of the proper lighting. Okay,
The night sky regulations.
the night sky, nothing extravagant. You always gotta think about safety. Okay, so if it's dark back there,
No, it's not.
no, I think, yeah, but I think if there's any hidden cubby holes back there,
Oh, cubby holes?
it's just a matter of speed.
Oh,
If you don't have proper lighting,
We'll make sure there's proper lighting while it still sits in the night sky.
then security could be an issue.
Absolutely.
oh, right.
Female worker,
Oh, yeah.
in particular,
Makes
okay?
sense, yeah.
We don't want to create a monster, we want to make it.
Yeah,
fair.
Okay.
The building, y'all did see on my deeper report, there is some rusted panels on Fifth Street. If you can replace them from this side, swap it over, and then some are bent, you'll address
We're
them.
talking about some of the corrugated metal.
Yeah.
On the other side of the building that's been, yes.
If you can exchange it to,
So use the same stuff that's in place.
yeah, it's been weather,
Yeah,
yeah, it's been weather, rather than putting a brand new one.
sure.
Now, one thing, when we met, they're not buying that Home Depot stuff, it looks all shiny, they're buying the big stuff, the commercial stuff,
Right.
and it's pre-engineered, it's all in the plans and everything, pre-engineered. As a builder, everything looks neat.
So any kind of repairs or new addition will be made with materials that are similar to or like the original,
Right.
right?
That's the plan.
You're saying historically correct in the look of
Yeah.
everything that you'll be doing. And then the rock and the brick on the side of the bigger building will not be painted,
No,
correct?
no, it would be put back to look like the rock walls of old, with the same bright color pointing mortar and all that kind of stuff. We would do it to look historical.
I know that was their plan the day they tore it down because we were all out there the day they tore it down. That
And
it
if
was
you go
go back the way it was.
And you go back to the late 40s, 50s, it might have had all plaster, but all the records from the National Secretary does not mandate go back and replaster it. You don't want to do that. You want to keep it as it is. It happened naturally. The vines probably pulled.
Yeah, the vines pulled off a lot of the old plaster.
On the fence, the 8-foot fence that's gonna go around it, that's tin and wood.
So, yeah, it would be, go ahead.
I don't know, did you have the?
Again,
Yeah, I got pictures and stuff here, yeah, I looked at it.
Okay, yes, should be some pictures of kind of what we're thinking.
Yeah, I saw it, it looks really nice, but I was just wondering about the tin, does that follow with like the old hardware out there?
That's the idea, was so that the metal would look similar to the old hardware
Oh,
buildings and
hardware,
old
okay.
buildings that were back there. 'Cause
Yeah.
years ago, there were like lots of buildings back there.
Oh, yeah.
that were all that. They all were made out of that same So we want to go as close as we can to that.
Really,
Yes.
kind of like you look at uptown in the back,
Mhm.
what they call it, they have like 10-foot wall
Yeah,
and it's stone.
Yeah.
It doesn't match the building, but it blends in.
yes.
So their metals will look at more match of the existing building, you know, there's blend and match, you know.
Kind of like we did at Twin Sisters with the roof, we got 10 that kind of matched the roof.
And if you notice on, when we redid the front patio on the cafe and the pottery, we used corrugated metal that looks more like the old. It was the heavier gauge and it had that same kind of color look. It's not super shiny and all that. So we would use something very similar.
Well, is this going to make the town square look way too crowded? I mean, it already looks way too crowded with all the cars and everything. It's kind of dangerous coming down the streets sometimes. And is this just gonna increase the density of buildings and just crowd us in?
If you want my opinion, my answer would be no, if we don't do it today, we'll do it in 20 years when I'm not doing it.
I'm not
It's
forgetting.
gonna happen. Huh?
I'm not forgetting.
Well, I told them, and I tell everybody, don't think about today, don't think about the past. How will it be in the next 30 years? If they increase the tax base, then you can get better helmets for football, you can get better streets. They need that tax money. If they don't do it, somebody's gonna come in, buy out everything like that. Blankford does not have a strong demolition by gateway. So if they're rebuilding their property, so they have every right to do that. We cannot stop. We can help them to make sure that it blends in
Yeah,
without ordinances.
I understand our responsibility is to make sure whatever they do that's visible, not the interior, correct?
That's
The exterior blends with our historical district or what was once there. The concern about parking and, yeah, that is a concern of mine as well, but that's not our concern. That's the city's concern.
It's our concern when we drive down that street.
No, it is. I mean, it is as a person, but as a commission.
Yeah, I understand.
No, I agree.
Yeah, that's something that it's a concern, even if they weren't doing anything. It's already a problem when you do 900 days, but those are just certain events. I think residents could be about parking, I guess.
Can I say something for Wendy's too? You're right about this, but from 20 years ago, people have been, every plan that we have come in, it's saying for the city to try to find more parking area. And it is, I live there and I see it. And when the bowling alley gets opened back up, but it is rarely packed right now, and still be more packed with this. But the city maybe needs to look at the old fire station, makes a parking lot or something like that. But it has been asked over and over, more parking. And they did that behind Candy's over there.
John, I would think that one solution could be, if you can work out a deal with Uptown's empty parking lot, and maybe have your own shuttle.
We are discussing that.
Yeah, and have your own, some of this stuff,
Yeah, we
have your own
didn't-
shuttle bus on peak hours. You know, drive them all there, take off.
Actually, they've had a couple too many.
Oh,
Well, that's just getting them across the street. They don't communicate. So there's this off the wall question, what do you do with the lumber that's in the lumber shed?
Oh, well, we're gonna reuse some of it in the building process, and then the rest we're gonna use for other things. So it's all gonna be saved.
Okay.
Various ways.
Because I was gonna put in my 10 cents and I'll take some.
Yeah, I have nothing to do.
all those letters say 2x12 in white, they're gonna keep it.
Yeah, it would take, where the wood comes out, the numbers that are there, basically cut it off, put it back in the back, just to kind of keep the visual.
The way it was.
Best we can.
The way it was, maybe put some old photos back there, that way it was.
But yeah, we'll try to reuse all of it, for sure.
Good, good. All my questions. All right. So the action, we have a motion for an action regarding this report.
Yeah, they
Take
should,
the finding of fact first.
yeah, y'all have finding facts, because I did for my copy, there's a lot of finding facts and references. This one took me longer than any of them.
So make sure you get
And,
Print it off before.
yeah, this one I wanted to make sure that I had all my T's and I's zeros and everything in there. I threw the book at them. But you want to approve the COA, once y'all receive their copies, the photos were poured, and then Laura re-enriched them, and I sent those out, you could read something. They have the plans here as a backup. And the only thing that I saw that was very negative, and they're not doing it, it's that one gate on the post office, but that's future stuff. You want to deny that based on the plans here.
So we would want to have a motion to approve the COA with the exception of the gate and and
Yeah, three things.
the
Yeah.
gate.
The COA,
Mhm.
deny the gate, and the walkway on the property belongs to someone else. And then what I did approve of the silo, the restrooms, the metal building, the fencing, and refurbishing the rock, the stone, the gutters, all that stuff.
I have yet another question, and I
That's,
apologize.
no, that's okay, you gotta ask this question. You got, this is a.
How soon
not
will you
late.
begin this process?
Well, our goal is September would be the beginning time to start construction. We would hope to be done in March or April of next year, but it depends on a lot of factors. We were speaking with contractors today, and they're having lots of delays and hard time getting materials and all that. So that's our goal, but that's not set in
So
stone.
start September and the spring of next year would be
That's more-
fair?
Right, more than
Works, okay. And if there are any changes to anything, are we then notified? Or how does that work?
Yes, because you're,
Because I know things can change as.
yeah, so y'all are approving, and none of you got to see the plans other than what was emailed to you. Normally, a big town would have planning departments that they look at all the details, okay? If y'all want to postpone this for the second week of next month, sorry, guys. So y'all can review the plans, could it stay here in the city?
I honestly don't care about that, I just,
I would like that. I mean, because I.
Yeah, you just got here, and it might be a rush thing, okay? Because this is the first time I've seen the plans visually, but I already knew what they looked like on computer, but when you can follow your finger, questions come up and then run it down. Would that be okay? Okay. If you'll drop them off at the city hall,
Okay.
and then if any of y'all want to check them out, maybe come here, no more than two at a time, okay?
Well, let me ask you this, we have plans here,
Do that.
we're all here. Can we look at them now, or do you, I need more time?
I don't want to, since they didn't have my email, this is the first I've heard of it.
Okay.
And I feel pretty negative about it right now. I'd like to feel positive about it.
Okay, because the next time we would meet would be a special meeting, second Monday of next month. If you come real quick. Okay. Now, as far as the parking, there's nothing we can do about the parking. Let me talk to them about that. You know, what we talk to Craig,
I mean, it's not, there's nothing that we can do.
there's nothing we can do.
So where does it go from us? We approve it, and then where does it go? I mean, do all the neighbors, they,
Our job is to figure out whether or not this is historically
That's it.
appropriate.
Be
We
compliant.
don't get to decide what kind of businesses people put in.
no, I'm not trying to say that. I'm just asking about the routes. Where does it go? Like, does it go to P and Z from here? Has it already been to P and Z?
No, once it gets approved and your chairperson, I believe she signs it, takes it to the city, they're supposed to mail it off. I guess if it's so convenient, maybe they go pick up a COA, pick up a permit, then they go forward. Okay.
so we approve the COA, they get a building permit, and it begins.
The city approves of the permit, you do not, I do not.
Yeah, I knew that.
They come up with all the numbers, but listening to you, I understand what you're saying, and he's willing to leave on the city hall, which is her,
Yeah, I'll just take them over there.
but if you want to spend some, I would not take him home. You don't want to be responsible for that.
No.
How many pages do you have?
This is just 5 here. Now, the ones that you have a few more pictures that are a little bit better gauge of it, but those are just smaller versions. This one has some dimensions that are easier to read because it's just on a bigger format.
And I'll send you what I do have, that they send us,
Okay.
visually how it looks. What, expanding your business, that, what do you feel the goal will be as far as attending? Oh, I don't know.
That's not really our business.
No, but it's a question that I have, because she's concerned about parking.
Right,
It should increase. It should increase, because they have land
yeah,
that's not being, it's not making money. It should be making money.
I got
And that's what they're doing. They should, why go to Fredericksburg when they can stop here,
it.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we,
okay, so we, is there something else that we need to do here?
I'm giving it back to the chairperson,
Okay.
and y'all decide you want to table it for 2 more weeks,
All right,
or move forward.
So we could either table it, or we could make a motion to move forward. How do we feel?
Gail wants to be comfortable with reviewing
So
it.
that just one vote, so you can always have vote.
Well, you just make a motion, y'all make a motion.
Let's make a motion to table this for review until the second week in August, when we have an opportunity to review it at the city hall, and then we can take it up again and vote on it.
Is this public information, what you're doing over there?
This is a public meeting, so it would be public
It is.
information. Yeah, so when y'all get the website going, you could post stuff like this to me. So she made a motion.
I'll second it.
All right, so, Pam motions to table until August meeting. And Gail seconds.
And maybe we'll have all of them.
She'll be back in August. All right, so all in favor of tabling this COA for the review? We'll talk about it again.
So what day is that?
I know, I just want to see. I don't know how to vote. Approval before.
The second Monday in August is the 16th.
Okay.
The second Monday is, right?
No, it's it's a night. Yeah, because Monday the second, Sunday.
No, you're right. You're right.
So August 9th and.
So guys, what y'all want to look at, once the information, don't vote because I'm saying to vote, but you have enough information. What's additional, y'all will probably continue your vote based on the plan. Okay, I'm not going to rewrite my information. I will study them too, but if I find something different, then I'll revise my information. Okay? So there's not a lot of confusion.
So we're just gonna be studying your
Right.
report.
Yeah, that and the plans.
All right. Last item, Blanco Historic Preservation Action Plan.
Streetscape.
Streetscape and
Pam, you have anything on the streetscape that you want me to do?
What can we do?
She's still on vacation. She's our chair, but I'm the working correspondent at the chair. Okay, I just want to give you a brief, and today's been really hard. I was going to do it in writing, so for me, so I'm just going to give you a rundown. We revived this back in December to start this again, and we have a new committee. All we did is amend the people on the committee, and it's Pam on BHPC, me on KBB and BHPC, Mary Harris on the courthouse, Richard Stanford at large, Liz Waller is a business person, Ronnie Rodriguez is the liaison for the public works with the city, and Mike Smith's the liaison with the city council. And so on 4/29, we sent out request for RFQs, that's a request for qualifications, and it's published in the newspaper, posted in Blanco County News. that to be due on June the 18th of 21. We got two.
Sorry. I need to play footsie with you.
We got two RFQs, and it was Main Street Architects, and Main Street Architects had submitted one when we first started this in 2010. And so we already had one on her, but she just sent a new one in, an updated one. And Simple City Design, we received theirs on June the 18th. The procurement was actually posted May the 19th. On 6/1, we had our first meeting, we had a meeting in April 2, and the 6/1, we had a meeting and with an agenda, and on 6, I'm not sure what date it was, Simple City Design published, they had a meeting up at the Gym of the Hills. It was on urban planning, but we're part of urban planner. We're part of the city, so we're part of urban planning. So it's about the presentation on the historic commission too. So they had a presentation at Gym of the Hills. We planned a presentation since Main Street was not involved in this or any publicity on it. For the Main Street architects to give a presentation at the courthouse on the 30th, which Sue Ann Pemberton did come and give a good presentation, good questions and answers. And so then we in turn gave an invitation to the Central City to come on the 30th. Theirs was the 20th and the Central City, we were the 30th. Anyway, on the 14th streetscape meeting, the Central City, I'm sorry, this has been a bad day. I've been over here working and I've had a heck of a lot at my house going on. So they have each given their own presentations to us in public meetings, and I'm sorry everybody didn't get to come because both of them were good. We have now asked them to send us 4 because there's a lot of things to look at. They're both good. We're asking for 4 recommendations or 4 references, not recommendations on what they have done in the past. And so Sue Ann had sent hers in, and I got Matt Lewis's today. So we will have this decided and to the city council before the next city council meeting on who that we recommend.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that was the last item on our agenda.
Oh, you said, nice guys, and Wayne's not here. Oh, I want to mention something real quick. The gateways that we talked about, that Rudy was talking about, the 4 gateways coming into Blanco are part of the BIP action plan, the Blanco Historic Preservation Action Plan, just like Streetscape and My Skies did. And so the committee that was formed for gateways probably should be given reports under the BHPC reports because it is part of that. And I think Hollis is the one that started that committee in the first place, and then it kind of got moved from this one to another one. But maybe we could get that put under that BHPC reports.
What is BHPC?
Blanco Historic Preservation Action Plan. It took 7 months of meetings to come up with this action plan. I believe there's several more, and that was public, that was not us, that was the citizens of Blanco were part of that.
You have me a little confused. So your gateways in the past were one in front of your house, but are you talking about the ones further out that were going to be?
My gateway was never in front of the house, I'm talking about the entries into Blanco.
Way outside, okay. That's gateways.
That's it.
That's the.
And that's Paul has started that committee.
Yeah, let's stick to the agenda.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, any other announcements or agenda items for next time? We have all of our table issues, so we'll be discussing signs and paint and COA for Redbud.
We did go sign.
The signs and the banners. The gateways are the hard signs.
Yeah.
The banners are banners.
Banners are banners.
Yes, from separate.
All right? All right. Anything else tonight?
I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, our next regular meeting is on the 22nd of August.
Our next regular meeting should be the last Monday of the month.
So it'll be the 30th.
So that is the
Yeah.
30th. So that will be our regular meeting. The special meeting should be on the 9th.
Okay, good, because I was gonna be out of town from the 22nd to the 26th. So, good. That way I won't miss it.
All right, and just to note, Hollis was trying to get online and she couldn't. I don't know what's going on. I sent her,
I know.
okay, so just FYI, Hollis tried.
Mayor Lumpy and I were trying to figure it out, as you guys were at your meeting, and she said the old, link was used, and so that's what happened.
Okay,
Yeah, so she figured it out, so she got on the old link, that's why the mayor's on
okay, okay.
the. Okay.
I think that there's an ability to send the meeting as a meeting request.
Yes.
And in the past, that's been done, but it wasn't done for this meeting, so if in future would involve set. And then I'll forward it to everybody, but that way they just click directly on it, so.
Absolutely.
Do we have a motion to adjourn? All right, and motions to adjourn.
Also good.
All right.